In this problem, we want to convert a fraction to a percent. Now, in the previous problem, we were able to easily take our denominator and divide it into 100. 100 divided by, let's say, 8 for letter A does not divide evenly. And so we can't use the same method we did in the previous problem. In this problem, what we will do is we will first convert our fraction to a decimal, and then our decimal to a percent. And in order to convert a fraction to a decimal, we want to long divide. And so we will have 8 into 3, or 3 divided by 8. Now, that doesn't go in evenly. However, we can add as many zeros we want after the decimal place. Remember to line your decimal up. 3 divided by 8 is 0. But if we now work with 30 divided by 8, that divides 3 times. 3 times 8 is 24. Subtract, we have 6. Bring the 0 down. 60 divided by 8 is 7. 7 times 8 is 56. And subtract. 60 minus 56 is 4. Bring down the next 0. 40 divided by 8 divides evenly. 5. 5 times 8 is 40, and so we will have no remainder, and our problem is nearly complete. We have now converted our fraction to a decimal of 0.375. Now, in order to convert the decimal to a percent, we move the decimal 2 places to the right, and then it becomes the percent. 37.5%. And the reason we move it 2 places to the right is because percent means out of 100. And so 100 has 2 zeros, and that helps us determine how many places we need to move it. And in this case, we move it to the right. In letter B, we will do much the same thing. We will have our 7 out front and our 4 underneath. So we have 4 divided by 7. And notice I just add a bunch of zeros, usually about 4. But my problem, like letter A, may stop sooner than that. It may be finished. 4 divided by 7 is 0. And I'm going to remember to line up my decimal points. 40 divided by 7 is 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Subtract, and I have 5 left over. Bring down my 0. 50 divided by 7 is 7, because 7 times 7 is 49, with 1 left over. Bring down the 0. 10 divided by 7 is 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. Bring down the next 0. 30 divided by 7 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. Subtract, and I have 2 left over. Should I keep going? Well, let's see. Bring down the next 0. 20 divided by 7 is 2, with 14 left over. 2 times 7 is 14, with 6 left over. Now what will happen from there is it will keep going In letter C, we have the whole number out front and the fraction after it. We are only concerned with doing the long division for the fraction. And so we know that this will equal or be equivalent to 5 point something. The point something we will use long division to find. And so we have 1 divided by 6. Again, I'm going to start with 4 zeros and see how far that takes us. Line up the decimal places. 1 divided by 6 is 0. 10 divided by 6 is 1. 1 times 6 is 6. And subtract, we have 4 left over. Bring down the 0. 40 divided by 6 is 6 because 6 times 6 is 36. Subtracting 40 minus 36, we have 4 left over. Bring down the 0. We have 40 again. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract those 2, we have 4. Bring down the 0. We have 40 again. And you can see that in this case, the repeat occurs much earlier, and we didn't even see the repeat happen with 4 divided by 7 in letter B. We had to keep going to see that repeat happen. Oops. That's 36 again. And subtract, you have a 4 again. And so we have 0.1666 and so on. And so 1666 like that. And you can keep going. That's one way to write it. So it's 5.1666666 forever. And so we can write an equal because I've demonstrated with the ... that it does go on forever and continue in that way. The other way that I can write that is 5.16 with a bar over top, indicating that only the 6 repeats after that. That's the equivalent decimal. And now what we will do is change this to a percent. And so we take our decimal, we move it 2 to the right. We take our decimal, we move it 2 to the right. And so the top one can be written as 5.1, oops, sorry about that, 516.66 ... percent. The second one can be written as 516.6 repeating. We don't want to keep the repeating on this 6 here. This 6 here, that would be incorrect. We can't do that. So I have added another 6 after the decimal to indicate that it is repeating, and then we can place our decimal. So we either have our ... to indicate that it's a repeater percent, or we have the 6 with the bar in the fraction area or the decimal area, and then our percent. So either one for that one is acceptable.